I just want to say, Kate, and to everyone here today. We're delighted everybody turned out. It's a very historic day in Ballinscarthy. Lars Bashilta Starul at Hall Shiner in Ballinscarthy. I want to welcome Father Pat Hickey, Lord Mayor Gillian Coughlin, also to the Cork Heritage Officer Colin Milligan and fellow county councillors. And a special very warm welcome to the members of our Defence Forces from Collins's Barracks, Lieutenant Patrick Fitzgerald, Lieutenant Blahan Natagali, Sergeant Kevin Murray, all from the 1st Brigade Artillery Regiment, and Private Catherine Hayes, who's actually a local girl from Clonakilty, the 1st Brigade Band. I also want to welcome our soprano, Joanna Walsh, musicians, the leaders, sisters, members of Kilbrittain Historical Society, and to the relatives of the Daly and Murphy families, as well, and very importantly, to all our local people in Ballinscarthy community. This is a community project. This monument will be here today long after we are all gone. It will be history in the making, history documented. There is a booklet at the end of this ceremony for anyone who would like to take one home. It's kind of what's on the storyboard here beside me. It's the history of the lives and deaths of Con Daly and Con Murphy. It's very important that our history is shared, very important that our history is documented for our children and our children's children. So that's why we are adamant today to get this project done. We are very proud and honoured and privileged even to have it done in 2021, which was the commemorative year. It was very, difficult in lots of circumstances throughout the year with COVID, getting materials for the monument or whatever, but we managed it. So today is a very important day, and we thank you all very much for coming here. Sorry, I'm not finished yet. Now, from the start, this project was inspired by the late Dan Crowley from Castleview. Dan wrote his memoirs in 2013 in a fantastic book called My Time in My Place. And in that book, on page 43, Dan Crowley mentioned that Corny Daly was part of the history of Ballinscarthy. And in Dan's words, he said, "A plaque to his memory in his native village of Ballinscarthy is long overdue." So Dan, if you're looking down on us today, on a very special day in the village, we are carrying out your wish. I'm sure you'll have nudged Dan Holland up in heaven with you to have a peep view at what's happening in Ballinscarthy. So we're taking out the wishes of Dan Crowley and the wishes of the Murphy family also in unveiling this memorial to Con Daly and Con Murphy. And incidentally, the same Dan Crowley, whose brainchild it was to put up the Model T here behind us in Ballinscarthy to remember Henry Ford and the Ford family. So Dan was a man of vision. His contribution to the local community and the GA were immense. And in the words of Henry Ford himself, vision without execution is just hallucination. So execution is the operative word today. We are executing the project and the memorial will be unveiled. So I think that's all for now. Just want to say a huge meal of wakes to Tom Crowley here. There is no doubt about it. Without Tom, his ingenuity and his engineering brain, this monument would never have happened. So Tom was involved from the very start. From the research to drawing up the plans to contacting Cork County Council for the planning, the getting the bronze, the granite, the inscriptions, the flagpole. I could go on and on. The storyboard. It's all thanks to Tom. He did a great job. So thanks Tom for everything. So go Mila Mahagwef Galea, Nadig Hunadiv, stay safe everyone. 100 years ago, people had a fear. It was a different sort of fear we have today. So today we're all trying to dodge the COVID bullet. 100 years ago it was different, but in some ways it was still a similarity there. So thank you very much, and I'll hand you over to Tom.
Thanks very much, Keith. I'd like to call on the two Dons, Michael Murphy and Carol Leader, for a tune.
Me boys to die was far more sweet, with Erin's noble emblem boys to be my winding sheet. In life I loved to see it wave and follow where it led. But now my eyes grow dim, my hand would grasp its last bright thread. Wrap the green flags round me, boys, to die was far more sweet, with Erin's noble emblem, boys, to be my winding sheet.
Thanks very much. Father Pack Hickey, where's Father Pat? I'm sorry, I've jumped the gun a small bit. I'd like to call on the two Dons. I'm sure you all know that the two Dons are Con Murphy's nephews to unveil the monument now, please. And she's done most of the organising for today as well. So a big pull of us for Kate. To Teddy and Deirdre, when you're around here somewhere, thanks a million for giving us the site and for allowing us to use the back of the smoking area there to show a film later on. To Charles Sullivan and his team that put up the monument, Chris and Brendan. You did a very good job in building it and putting it together, and thanks very much for that. Conor Nelligan and the Cork Arms. To the members of Cork County Council for your support. To Christopher O'Sullivan for giving us early contacts within the council and when we were kicking off the project. To my brother Tim Crawley, and I he's probably setting up the film there or something. Thanks very much for sanity checking some of the things we've been doing and for checking the historical accuracy of what we're doing and for showing the film there later on as well. To the Murphy family, thanks very much for your help and for your support in this project. I'd like to thank Jerry O'Leary, he's down there at the back, and we get him to sing an old song there in a minute as well. And to Joe, his son Joe, for allowing us to use the only known photograph of Carney Daly. According to Bill Desmond's witness statement, the IRA dead from Crossbarry were dumped in the grounds from a lorry in abandoned military barracks. They were later put on boards up against the wall and photographed. So there may be another photograph of Con Daly somewhere in a file in some British institution. Thanks to Betty Hennessy and Kate for making up the unveiling thing. They were busy last night and this morning at that. thanks to Maura, my wife, for supporting me in this project. And my son Michael, we were up there late last night sorting out that film, and he's hopefully doing videoing today. He is. Thank God for giving us such a fine, unseasonal day, a fine dry day today, and anybody else that I may have forgotten. Just a little bit about the monument. It's granite with bronze pieces cast from photographs of the two men. Con Murphy was arrested in 1918, and we have his prison records when he was being admitted to Cork prison, and it said he was 6'1", 12 and a half stone, he had fair complexion and hazel eyes. So we've set his height at 6'1" off the ground here. We're not sure what height Con Daly was. We only have that one photograph of him, but we set him at 5'8", which is probably about the average height for a man at that time. Con Daly and Con Murphy's life stories are well covered out in that storyboard and in the literature we'll give you out there later on and in the film, so I'm not going to go into any of that. But there was a good chance that both cons were inspired by the 1916 proclamation and the events of those weeks. And while they did what they did, probably for excitement, as many of the young ones do, ultimately they had a vision that compared to the suppressed society they were living under, a better, fairer future was possible and was worth fighting for. Like many more volunteers and coming on, they devoted most of their time and energies into activities to ensure that this vision became a reality. Just before the end of the war, they both made the ultimate sacrifice and gave their lives to that vision of freedom and fair play to all. No matter what your political persuasions are, and despite COVID and homelessness and everything else, happily today, without doubt, 100 years on, the young generation now live in a far better, fairer society than what Con Daly and Con Murphy lived under. We also remember there was a further 154 people killed during the War of Independence in the West Cork Brigade area from all sides, and we remember them as well today. Sometimes it's good to remember the past, if for no other reason, only to try and prevent us from making the same mistakes again. I hope that you, the community, and good people of Ballinscarthy will welcome your 2 new residents as part of your history and heritage, and that this memorial will remind future generations of where we came from. Thanks very much. I'll call on Dan Murphy to sing next.
Jail one Monday morning, high upon the gallows tree, Kevin Barry gave his young life for the cause of liberty. Just a lad of 18 summers, yet no one can deny that he walked to death that morning. He proudly held his head up high. Just before he faced the hangman in his dreary prison cell, British soldiers tortured Barry just because he would not tell the names of his comrades and other things they wish to know. Torn informer, or we'll hang you, Kevin Barry answered no. Calmly standing to attention as he bid his last farewell to his broken broken-hearted mother, whose sad grief no one can tell. For the cause he proudly cherished, this sad parting had to be. Then to death walk heaven, that old Ireland might be free. Another martyr for old Ireland, another martyr for the crown, whose brutal laws have killed the Irish, but cannot keep their spirits down. Lads like Barry are no cowards, from the foe they will not fly. Lads like Barry will free up, for the cause they live and die.
We're very privileged here today to have the Cork County Mayor, Gillian Coughlin, to speak. So, thanks very much, Gillian.
Diolch Marie Bacor de Gael, tá sé mar mór fribléid dom a bhean seán of an Ballinscarthy chun an lech cuioineáin seo a heola. Agus tá sé mar credfas a díomh ar fad go bhfuil sé an seo. So good afternoon, members of the Defence Forces, Reverend Father, and friends and neighbours here in Ballinscarthy. As I say, it is a privilege to be here as Mayor of the county to witness the unveiling of this beautiful monument. And I hadn't seen it before it was unveiled, and it is beautiful. It truly is a beautiful piece. And a great credit to all of the, no doubt, hundreds of voluntary hours that were spent organising. I know you mentioned earlier all of those who were involved. And it is great. I'm very pleased on behalf of Cork County Council that we did support you, and we will continue to support you in this community. And you know, it's my second time here at on this bridge actually, in my 6 months as Mayor. We had the start of the walk across the way. But as a history teacher and as somebody who is passionate about local history, because really without local history we can't know our national history. Every piece of our national history is made up of the microcosm of the local events that took place. And Con Murphy and Con Daly make up that jigsaw. Without their actions, without their help for their comrades here in the West Cork Brigade and the West Cork Division, we wouldn't have an Ireland free today. And it is fitting that our tricolour is at half-mast to commemorate them, to commemorate their sacrifice. Imagine the Christmas in those families 100 years ago. Imagine the heartbreak and suffering, and many other families beside. But they did so willingly. They gave, they sacrificed willingly for the cause of freedom, as was sung about and was mentioned earlier, the cause of freedom that was enshrined in the proclamation of 1916, of liberty, of the freedom to choose our own government. And thankfully today we have that, and it is a great privilege that we have. And I'm delighted to see in particular today young children and young people here. You really are the future of this republic, and it is important that, as has been said, that we know where this republic has come from, the sacrifices that were made to create it, and how precious freedom is, and how we must really work hard and strive hard to protect that freedom and to protect the rights that were fought for and so hard won against the most powerful army in the world. Let's not forget that. They got out of their beds that morning to fight the most powerful army in the world. And it's important that we remember them. And I pay tribute to all of you who have done so. It is to your credit, not only the beautiful monument, but of course the information here as well. And in my 6 months as Mayor, it has been a hallmark of it, really. I've noticed the real desire that there is in local communities for this kind of information. And you have done it. You have produced it. You have made it accurate. I know it has been double checked and treble checked, and that again is very important, that our history is accurate. So I congratulate you. I could really do congratulate. It's a very special day to be here in the shadow of the Barrel tenant farmer also. You know, Ballinscarthy always stood up and was counted when times were tough, and I know you will continue to do so, and you're a magnificent community. So I congratulate you, as I say. I praise everybody who was involved in any way, and I'm very proud to represent Cork County Council here today in your support. So congratulations. Agus nála chana, Díobh go léir. Have a lovely, happy, safe Christmas, everybody. Gurb míle míle maith.
I'd like to call next, talk about the boat and the farmer. There's another incident happening over the road here in 1798 at the back of the big cross, and I'd like to call on my Uncle Joe to call and sing the ballad of the big cross. Please. And incidentally, the song was written by Joe's father, Thomas O'Leary. Out the famed cross we proudly roll, our ancient flag of green, with bagpipes tune the rising moon, stole over the Argadine. From town and glen came marching men, once more to commemorate where Tig and Isna bravely fell in the glorious 98. Those pikemen mustered out the dawn, each sworn to be free. They turned around their captain then, with men from Fen Kilbee. The smouldering fires of liberty, that they were set aglow, when foemen reel from flashing steel, and many well laid low. Like rocks against the tidal wave, those gallant rebels stand, but the Saxons soon outnumbered them, when horsemen's were at hand. But alas, regardless of his life, brave Tig-face laid in hell. He died to save our motherland that day at Shanville. Then here's to his memory, let it be for us a beacon light, to strive once more for liberty and teach us to unite. It may be near the fateful day when the glad news takes the wing, all Ireland free from sea to sea, a nation once again, a nation once again, a nation once again. And Ireland long a province be, a nation once again. Okay. I'd like to call next on the Mother Sisters and John Walsh, please, for Silent Night.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Thanks a million, ladies. Next up is Don Murphy Carrig.
First of all, I'd like just to thank the members of the Bell Remembrance Committee. Going back to 100 years ago, I would think of the human side of things, the parents of those involved in the fight for Irish freedom. They wondered would they ever see them again alive, which often happened. And when fight for freedom was over, this wonderful generation went back to their homes, settled down, and in most cases got married and reared wonderful families. Their legacy is the democratic country we live in today, and I think that's the main benefit of what we're commemorating here today. Vermele Margaret.
Next up is Francie O'Byrne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1915, on Christmas Day, on the Western Front the guns all died away, and lying in the mud and bags of sand, we heard the Germans sing from no man's land. Voice so pure and true, the words were strange, but every note we knew, soaring o'er the living, dead and damned, that Germans sang of peace in no man's land. They left their trenches and we left ours. Beneath tin hats, smiles bloomed like flowers, and pots of wine. We built a soldier's truce on the front line. Their singer was a lad of 21. We begged another song before the dawn, and sitting in the mud and blood and fear, he sang again the song we love to hear. Silent night, no cannons roar, a king is born of peace forevermore. All's calm, all bright, all brothers hand in hand, in 19 and 15 in no man's land. And in the morning all the guns boomed in the rain, and we killed them and they killed us again. At night they charged, we fought them hand to hand, and I killed that boy that sang in no man's land. Silent night, no cannons roar. A king is born of peace forevermore. All's calm, all's bright, all brothers hand in hand. And that young soldier sings, and the song of peace still rings through the captains and all the kings. Build no man's land. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Next up is Lieutenant Patrick Fitzgerald to say a few words, please.
First of all, I just want to say thanks very much for all coming here on behalf of my colleagues here today and on behalf of the Defence Forces. It's an honour to be at this commemoration in memory of Captain Con Murphy and volunteer Con Daly. Both men fought for Irish independence and ultimately paid the inevitable price that they did. Remembrance in Ogle Glenhairn is very important to us. As you can see in our tunics that we wear here today, embossed on our buttons are the letters IV, standing for Irish Volunteers. We both have a shared respect and loyalty towards the state of Ireland, so it's important that we commemorate the memory of both these men. This centenary year has been obviously very important for many communities around Ireland in remembrance of their connection and history with Ireland and what happened 100 years ago. So that's obviously very important for us all to remember. The story of the two cons is one that echoes through many families in Ireland and echoes through the history of Ireland. I'm sure there's many families here who can look back 2, 3 or 4 generations and recall similar stories in their own family history. So I find it very important and poignant that we respect the men and women that made this state and had laid the foundations to make the Ireland that we know and love today. Events like this show them the due dignity that they deserve in every part of it. So with that, I just want to say thanks very much to the community here, to Kate especially, for the communication throughout the week and for providing us with the information on the two cons. So you're keeping Irish history alive, which is key to the success of the information community. So with that, thanks very much, and it's a pleasure to be here today.
Lieutenant Fitzgerald. Next up is the wreath laying with the two dams and Lieutenant Fitzgerald. So I suppose we'll go with the two dams first, will we? We'd like to do a minute's silence for everyone that's been killed in war. Gur mágad léir. I'd like to call on Private Catherine Hayes to sound the last post and Dore Valley. Connor and Jan Walsh to sing her on a bean, please.
Skyne fine fall, at hoff vi alle geren, Besu, at under Ronny Queen, fwy void fyser, Shantir a sin shervasta, ni ogfur, fwy tiron of fwy'n troll, anoch da hens o barnafwyl, like yalegwyl, fwy fos nhw seil, like goni sgrech, tri lofag na bwler, Shalif Khanin aron the veen.
Joanne. That finishes this part of the proceedings. There's a souvenir booklet. Kate has them there somewhere. I think if you want them, just come up and get one. We're showing a film over here in the back of Teddy's Press, straight away there now. I know we're standing around there with a while, but I think it's a bit more sheltered over on that side. So if you want to see it, we'll all move over to the back of Teddy's. Thanks.